In the market for Blues tickets, in the market for Cardinal tickets, there's one place that I go and one place only, and that's the Ticket Guys. Been doing business with them for years, and I will continue to do business with them. It's the Ticket Guys. Check them out online at theticketguys.com, or don't hesitate to give them a call. 877-877-4849. It's the Ticket Guys.
The ITDRoll.com Morning After at Cardinals Spring Training is brought to you by Vogel Heating and Cooling, Charter Communications, Dirt Cheap, Fox and Hound Tavern, The Cheshire, Taco Bell, and Metabolic Meals.
Okay, Nana decorated your place.
No.
What is your favorite accoutrement? To me, I think it was the bowl with seashells in it.
Maybe, or that creepy lady painting hanging over my bed.
Yes,
What do you got going?
it's a portrait of some woman over his bed. And I said, "Who's the lady?" I don't know. Came with the place.
Yeah, everything came with the place. We can't take any credit. We don't want to take any credit for how that place was decorated.
Do you have to line up those places yourself, or does the team do it for you? How do you find them?
I put John on that. That was his job. He found it last year, so basically we just went with the same spot as last year. I don't know.
If you wanted to, they'll put you up in a hotel, right? But
Right,
It's
yeah.
too long to be in a hotel for you guys?
I think so. I think we spent enough time in a hotel during the season. If we can try and make it a little more comfortable for us.
I'm just
a little more
curious.
space.
The operation of the place. Now it is, Doug. It's gated with a guard there to
Nice.
get in.
Yeah.
Only the guard just looks at you, lets you in. Like he doesn't ask you what your business is there or anything, or to show ID. He just looks at you and you look back and he opens the
Yeah,
gate.
they
That doesn't seem to be that secure.
No, it's not. They just give you a little wave and go on through. But if you go, I think if you go in after 9, you have to show some ID. You have to be on a list.
So if you're a criminal and you're listening to this show, best do it before 9 p.m.
and go to our place, unless you want seashells
Seashells.
and trinkets and old lady paintings.
We we were discussing. The cat brought up that he observed a lot of fan mail for Jay, but you didn't have any. But you're saying there's a reason for that.
Yeah, I took mine home after the season too. It's hard to get to all of it during the year, and I banged it out in the first couple weeks I was home. And
It's like you literally sit down and write responses. Is that what you do?
yeah,
Or how you
I
handle it?
was cooped up in my apartment. Didn't really want to do much after the long season, and figured I'd get to the fan mail as soon as possible, and sent all that off. When I was done with it.
And it was big bags, too. I mean, these guys get a lot.
Yeah,
Do you get requests for like autographs? Or
yeah, they send cards.
Locks of hair.
A lot of them send baseball cards or pictures they might have taken, and I just ask for it to be signed and sent back.
Now, you're in a battle for the starting second base position with Skip and Tyler Green. And I asked you in an interview we did the other day, I know you like these guys, and I know, you're fine with however it shakes out. But I said, handicap, what role do you think? And you said you're the scrappy Italian. What did you say?
I think you got that right.
He said, I'm the scrappy Italian guy. I'm the underdog.
No, I mean I think I have good chances those guys to beat the starting second baseman, and that's the goal coming into camp. So I'm just trying to take it one day at a time and not put too much pressure on myself and not try to build things up. Just come in here and get my work in and get ready to go.
What's your best position, do you think?
Well, I think second base. I've played a couple hundred games there in the minor leagues, and then just by necessity last year I played a lot of third. But my best one is whatever position I'm playing that day. That's my best.
Whatever
spot.
gets you on the
Yeah,
field?
exactly.
But
Whatever gets you in the
as a
lineup.
kid and coming up, were you a shortstop
I
probably?
played short. I pitched a lot coming up, and then in college I played third and second. I've been all over the diamond.
You've got a rocket arm. Where's it from? Do you do exercises, or do you always have that?
I've always had a pretty strong arm, but then in college I started long tossing a lot. I found that's the best way to strengthen the arm, most efficient way for me at least. So I get out there a few times a week, let it out, let it loose, a couple feet, and I noticed after a summer of that, my arm was significantly stronger.
Daniel Descalso, kind enough to sit down with us here on the ITDRoll.com Morning After, live from Cardinal Spring Training. So I'm curious what you and Jay are doing over at the place with no internet and no cable.
Stick with the focusing on baseball. That was a good answer.
I personally, in my mid-30s, couldn't handle that. I can't imagine a couple guys in their 20s sitting there with nothing to do. At least that's how I would view it, as nothing to do.
Well, we technically don't have no internet. We each have an iPad, 3G, so we get by that way, and we have the PlayStation. So we're playing some FIFA soccer.
Oh, very nice.
NCAA
What team
football
are you, Italy?
yesterday. No, we played with the club team. That was Arsenal yesterday. We split 1-1.
Joe likes to hear that.
Now bring up something about Atlanta or Georgia.
Oh, there's nothing to be said if he's going to play with Arsenal. I don't,
Oh, you frown upon him now. He's lesser than you.
He's like a Blue Buddha guy. This is terrible.
Jay Boyd loves Arsenal.
I don't play with them. I like to switch it up. I get bored with one team. So yesterday, Arsenal was the first team. I'll go with them.
Jay Manu.
No, he was Barcelona. Right.
Another one. I don't even know what this. Doug, what does this
I have
mean?
no clue
Yeah.
who the teams are.
And Daniel does the cooking. When they do cook,
Is that true?
Daniel does the cooking.
I can cook.
Can Jay cook at all?
Yeah, I'm sure he can cook a little bit. But
You haven't seen it, though.
No, I haven't seen it. I made last year during spring. I made a big pot of chili for us. That's one of my specialties. But I like to experiment and mess around with different stuff.
Chicken tetrazzini.
Sure.
All right.
Nice, very nice. What'd you do in the off season? You're right in the Bay Area, right?
San Francisco. I was living in the city. Took a couple.
You went to a Warriors game last week, right?
I went to a Warriors game. I went to
D. Lee.
Yeah, I went to the Niners game when they NFC Championship
Oh,
game. I was
strong.
sitting in the rain for that one. Unfortunately, they lost. I made it to a couple Warriors games.
Didn't you go to Jay-Z and Kanye? I could have sworn I
did.
saw a
I
tweet
did
about
go
that.
see the Jay-Z and Kanye
Which one?
concert.
I saw him in Las Vegas. Where did you see him? Los Angeles?
San Jose.
San Jose. All right.
San Jose. Yeah. So I kept pretty busy.
Paris about 30 times at
They
the
played
end.
it twice.
Only twice. I got it 7 times
They
in Las
were
Vegas.
they were coming off. They were in LA the night before. I think they played it 9 times. So I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting a couple. So we got.
Doug, how many times did you see him perform?
I haven't been there yet. But next week I'm planning to
It
go.
was a good show. Really
It was
good
a
show.
good show. Best show I saw
I
last year.
want to thank you for tweeting in a language that someone like me could understand. Like when you tweet, I understand what you're saying because it's
I
English.
speak in full sentences. And,
Well, like
Now, who are
David
you making a
Freese,
reference to? Freese has code
Freese.
words for his friends.
oh,
I
Ricka.
can't even understand
we
it.
have a few code words though, don't we?
You and the
Wait.
cat?
No, not me and the cat. It's us, me, and Jay and
I
Freeze.
just seem every time I see, and I'm not really locked in on Twitter as much as other folks, but if I see a tweet on because Fox Sports Midwest follows you, it's like going to a game tonight. Hey, I know what that means. And with Freeze, it's like Freeze is like Arctic Blast, Squeezy, and it's like what?
Well, I can't speak for those Midwest kids. They do things a little differently out there.
Yeah.
Out on the West Coast, we try to speak in full sentences.
You were raised
and
right.
Convey our thoughts a little more clearly.
Yeah, higher critical thinking.
Has Freeze gotten a big head now? Is he difficult to live with in there?
No, I mean he's the same old guy that I met when I was coming up in the minor leagues. He hasn't let any of this get to him. I'm sure it's been crazy and hectic for him, but he's still the same old David Freeze as us.
Even if he had gotten a big head, that would probably be the answer you'd give. But he really hasn't. It doesn't seem anyway. I mean, you're obviously around a lot more, but he does seem like so down to earth with this whole deal.
Yeah, it's crazy the amount of attention he got in this offseason, and I'm sure he was getting pulled in all different directions, and he seemed like he's handled it pretty well.
Marriage proposals.
Yeah,
Lots of
I'm
them.
sure. I can imagine.
What's it like for you guys, aside from idiots that want to come to your rented condo, But, I mean, to have to do, like, there's a gauntlet of interviews that you got to do, and when you come in, you got to face that. Is it a pain for you to have to do that? And like, I'll ask you something, and Doug probably asked maybe slightly better questions, but basically the same stuff. And then the next, is it a pain or just part of the job?
I guess it's better than being asked nothing at all. It's part of the job. You guys are here to ask questions and report to the fans, and I have no problem with doing that.
There are some guys in the clubhouse that just kind of sit there and look, and I'm always wondering, are they happy no one is talking to them, or are they upset that no one's talking to them?
I think it depends on the guy.
Doug, you have the best system. You just kind of linger, and then you go, got one more in you? He cherry picks.
Is that what you do, Doug? You got one
Yeah,
more?
it works.
Because you feel bad about it.
I feel like a stalker. It's just constantly, can you give us yet
It's
another
fine, but
4
that's
or 5
what
minutes?
I've heard this 10 times already. A guy gets up, got one more, because he's already out there. It's a good setup.
The
He's
cat
right
cat does not feel bad about being a stalker. Not one bit.
He'll lurk. He'll lurk. We asked Jay this as well. When Freeze was on with us yesterday, he said he walked into one of his buddies' places and they were watching Loesch lay down a bunt from Game 6. And, like, guys, this was just like a week ago. Guys, come on. Enough. How many times did you get a chance to watch Game 6? And what stands out to you from that evening most?
I saw it a couple times. My family got the DVD set, and so my dad still puts it on and watches it every once in a while. I'll stop by the house on the way home from a workout, and he'll be in there, fast forwarding through the innings. But for me, obviously, it was that both comebacks, and being able to be a part of that is something I'll remember forever.
a huge part of it, though, in that 10th inning. I mean, I think most people after Hamilton's home run were just like, wow, what a shame after what Freese did in the 9th, but okay, I mean, God bless them, Rangers are going to win this thing. And then you and Jay, your buddy over at Nana's place.
Yeah, we knew we needed to get something going, and we tried to go up there and have good at-bats against a pitcher who we never faced before, and we're lucky that things worked out for us.
What are the emotions like when you're facing an at-bat that could end the season and the dream and everything you've been working for a year? Are you nervous, or since the game's been going for a while, are you over that at that point?
Well, you can't think about it like that. You can't go up there and think, all right, if I make it out here, we're one out closer to going home. I just went up there just trying to get something going, trying to get a good pitch to hit and put a good swing on it. And since we were down by 2, I knew if I got on base, that would be huge to tie in when it comes to the plate. That anything could happen. And I kept fouling pitches off, and he finally hung me a curveball, and I just put a good swing on it and got a hit. So I was just happy to get something going for us.
Even during the regular season, I mean, that's when you excelled.
Late
games that were close and late, that's when you came through. And plus, I think about it. All right, you hadn't played a lot of shortstop. Oh, okay, he can't play. He put it short. You were flawless. Third base, second base. You kind of don't sweat that stuff. Where does that come from? Where you're fine in tight situations or in situations that you might not be that comfortable with?
Well, I think going back to the other situation, I try not to put too much pressure on myself. Just trust in my ability and what I've worked on, and just try not to do too much. Just stay within myself and not overthink it. And if I can stay in the moment and just focus pitch to pitch out there in the field and at bat to at bat and even pitch to pitch and at bat, just try to worry about going up there and having an approach and a plan and just being prepared. And if I do that, then I feel like I have a pretty good chance to succeed.
Freese get real mad when Tony would put you in the late innings? Would he blame you? We're trying to stir up something.
Yeah, we're looking for something.
He would not get mad at me. I don't think he was happy with it. A couple times they even sent me
So
out.
he took it out on you.
No,
See, I'm getting there.
But,
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
But a couple times I had to go. Actually, Freese had already taken the field, and then Tony would send me out.
No.
And I hated doing that. Here he sees me coming out of the dugout. I'm like, oh man, he's not going to be happy that I'm coming to get him right now. But that's the system that we had last year, and it seemed to work out. So,
what would he say? Something like Zoids? Like, what would he say?
Yeah, probably exactly like that.
Zoids, yeah.
I would always be leery of giving him like a high five. I feel like he would slap my hand too hard. He's not happy. The guy wants to be out there all night inning just like everybody else. But you got to do what the skipper says.
Yeah.
Skipper liked to push the buttons. He'd take Berkman out.
Well, that was a hot topic in October. I don't know if you're aware of it, but that would just drive people up the wall. When, no disrespect to you, but Freese is raking, and all of a sudden he's pulled out of the game in the late innings, drove people up the wall.
I mean, I guess we did that all in our run in September, and Tony
superstitious.
He probably didn't want to change anything.
That's the way it worked.
Well, in hindsight, he was absolutely right because it all worked out.
There is a lot of pressure defensively when you're put in as a defensive replacement late in the game, isn't there?
Yeah, you don't want to screw anything up.
Really? It's like being out there as a pinch runner and getting picked off or something.
But I think I had done it enough during the year that I kind of figured out what I had to do to get ready to go in that situation, whether it was, run a little bit in the tunnel or, throw some balls off the wall and just get a few ground balls, simulate as much as I can. And so I had a pretty good system. And so by the end during the playoffs and everything, I kind of figured out, all right, this is what I have to do to be prepared and be ready to go in the game.
And when Freese dropped the pop-up in Game 7, did you go up to him and say, see, this is why I replaced you late in the game?
No, I didn't. I did not want to go up to him at all after that. I know if I dropped the pop-up like that, I would not want anybody to talk to me. So
That's a good question, though, Doug.
Yeah, just on the off chance.
That's what happens in Little League.
Daniel, thank you so much for sitting down with our Nitwit program. We appreciate it.
No problem, guys.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. That's Daniel Descalso sitting down with us here on the ITDRoll.com morning after on 590 The Fans, KFNS, and KFNS.com.